Hello, I'm Askar Sharlief and you're watching the news from Kazakhstan. Mukhtar Jakishev's health condition is so poor he is actually already eligible for the second disability group. This revelation was made recently by independent doctors from Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. On Wednesday, the attorney of the former head of Kazatomprom petitioned to allow experts to conduct a full medical examination.
For already 2 days, Kazakh and Kyrgyz cardiologists are trying to gain access to the courtroom to examine the defendant Mukhtar Jakishev at least visually. Unfortunately, attorney's motions are still being ignored both by the judge and prosecutor. After looking through Jakishev's records from various medical institutions, physicians concluded that the defendant needs urgent hospitalization. His condition is getting worse and could even lead to a physical disability. The faster he is hospitalized, the better, because frequent crises can lead to heavy complications in the cardiovascular system. It may even cause heart attacks or strokes. Independent doctors say Jakishev is not malinjuring. He has constantly high blood pressure, which is sometimes affected by medication. Cardiologists claim that the defendant has not been fully medically examined, and thus there is no clear diagnosis. The serious condition was also confirmed by Jakishev's wife. On Tuesday, she was allowed to have a 5-minute visit. He keeps his spirit high, but it is obvious that it is hard for him to move. Thus, I cannot speak positively about his health condition. Jakishev's attorney Nurlan Bisikeyev has passed the conclusion of independent physicians to the court. Doctors themselves are going to wait for the access to the trial and defendant, declaring that unlike their colleague Vladimir Babarykin, they promised to supply an objective opinion. Interesting that the judge had admitted Jakishev's serious illness. However, the question of hospitalization is still under discussion.
Meanwhile, 12 top managers of BTA Bank hope to challenge their verdicts. Last year, they received long prison sentences, officially for embezzlement, informally for the reprisals against the team of the former BTA head Mukhtar Ablyazov. The next story has more.
The lawyers of top managers of BTA and Timur banks came to the court to appeal their clients' verdicts. Last December, 12 Kazakh bankers were charged with large-scale embezzlement in the course of the 4-month-long trial.
There was no case there, or rather the criminal case was far-fetched. I can say again that perhaps someone did commit these crimes, but they were never prosecuted. At the same time, people who were indirectly involved and fulfilled their professional duties were prosecuted. But this is wrong. This way everyone can be prosecuted.
The ex-deputy chairman of BTA Bank, Genrik Holodzinski, was given a suspended sentence. The rest were sentenced to terms in a penal colony. 4 managers were sentenced to 8 years of imprisonment. 3 were given terms ranging from 2 to 5 years. The present condition of all of them, according to lawyers, is satisfactory. I visited him and he feels okay. He is preparing for the appeal trial. While preparing for the appeal, the top managers found 25 discrepancies between the text of the trial protocols and the recordings. However, the district court judge Arman Shamshiyev took into account only 5 of them, and his decision is not subject to appeal. Meanwhile, representatives of BTA and Timur banks refrained from commenting on the process.
Talk to the press service.
The bailiff has compiled a list of participants of the trial and unexpectedly asked journalists who wish to cover the process to provide a special certificate from their employers. What if you will behave outrageously here or bring bombs? Nevertheless, the attempt to appeal the verdict on Wednesday morning failed. Attorney Nurlan Ustimirov did not show up in the court due to his illness, and the hearing was postponed until the next week.
On Wednesday, another trial was launched in Astana, this time concerning the registration of the People's Party Alga. The chairman of the Coordinating Council of the association, Vladimir Kozlov, is suing officials of the Justice Ministry for continuously interrupting the registration process.
The Justice Ministry explained the recess in the registration process by the presence of names of the deceased in the party members' lists. The officials asked Alga to update its documents, to which Kozlov replied that he couldn't resurrect the dead, and therefore requests the government officials to either refuse to register altogether or to finally legalize the organization. Throughout its 10-year history, the party Alga was officially registered only for 1 year, from 2004 to 2005. For the rest of the time, according to Kozlov, officials have to come up with a variety of reasons to refuse the procedure. The dead are the matter of irreversible violation which cannot be influenced. Usually the purpose of the recess and the registration is to correct any breaches, but in this case we are in no means able to correct it while the Committee of Registration Service would be pretending to wait for the changes. This will last for years.
During yet another process on Wednesday, the chief lifeguard of the country gave his testimonies in an Astana court. The emergency minister Vladimir Bashko says the tender, which is the ground for the criminal case against the former vice minister Abulay Sabdalin, was not disadvantageous to the ministry.
I think that Sabdalin has been of benefit but not of harm to the ministry. Only due to his persistence we received 2 hoists, although we had to apply a big effort to get them. Everything was done strictly according to the law, and I think there can be no claims to Sabdalin concerning tenders during that period. The minister added that the main witness and intermediary in the case of the officer of the emergency ministry, Jandos Ilyasov, has been placed under pressure. According to the head of the ministry, he was demanded to pay $60,000 as penalties by some unknown people. The types of penalties were not explained by the minister. According to him, the financial police may be responsible for the incident. The minister claims that Ilyasov was threatened with physical violence. The court will identify the validity of it in the near future.
The emergency minister also found some time yesterday for his direct responsibilities. As the head of the government commission, he visited eastern Kazakhstan, which can soon become a natural disaster zone. A record level of snow over frozen basins and soil are all the consequences of the unusually cold winter, which can now result in massive floods across several areas of the region.
Eastern Kazakhstan is preparing for floods. The winter was extremely snowy, exceeding annual rates by as much as 7 times. Experts forecast that regional bases will not be able to contain all the thawing water. In addition, the soil is deeply frozen, which will lead to water rising to the top. Local villagers are afraid of losing their homes and are asking for help from the authorities. 2 houses have been swept away already, and now it is our turn. Due to the critical situation, the head of the emergency ministry, Vladimir Bashko, has visited the most dangerous areas and then said that the region will receive additional funding for flood control measures, as well as assistance from other regions.
Additional rescue units will be brought here from Karaganda. We will also consider using civil defense regiments in case of extreme situations.
According to the preliminary forecast of experts, there are 125 potential flood areas in the region. Vladimir Bashko will have to report about the situation to the Prime Minister during a special meeting in the near future.